Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Steadfast Men Unscripted. In today's episode, it's number 14, where I interview a good friend of mine, Dave Brawley. Dave is a husband, a father, a commercial airline pilot, and most importantly, he is a strong Christian man. So he shared a lot of valuable insight, wisdom as far as being a husband, a father, raising kids in today's generation. So I hope you enjoy the show. If you get anything from the show, I want to encourage you to just like the show, subscribe to the channel. It would really help out the success of my channel. So until next time, thank you for watching. And most importantly, thank you, Dave, for your time coming on the show. Enjoy. Alrighty. Dave Brawley, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on?
Thank you for being here, first of all.
Matt, thank you for having me. I mean that when I say I don't throw the term friend around like the world does, like Facebook does.
Like Facebook?
Yeah, I want to be a genuine believer. I want to be a genuine brother, and I know you do too, and we are that, so thanks.
That you are, thank you. Speaking of that, that's how we became friends. Well, I was going to share how we became friends. I met you a few months ago at our church here in Pittsburgh, and the reason why I think I was attracted to you is because sometimes when you meet people, you can tell instantly. You'll know, the Bible says you'll know them by their fruits, right? And sometimes you meet people and their life kind of looks like a hot mess, and I got to meet you. And after looking at you and your wife and your beautiful kids, I could tell that you guys are the real deal. And, and your kids are respectful and kind, and your wife is great. So yeah, thanks for being a friend of mine that I can look up to and talk to. When we get talking, sometimes we lose track of time.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true. I think, thank you for that.
Yeah.
I think the scripture that comes to mind when I think about what you're describing is what Jesus talks about: a good tree not bearing bad fruit, and a bad tree not bearing good fruit. So that's true. We I don't care who you are, you have to recognize that what Jesus says has consequences, and if what he says has meaning, then let that statement be what asks the question about our own life. If you can stand up out of this chair and look at your life as a tree, like what fruit is on it, and you're helping me in that. So I think that's one thing we can do as believers to share the genuineness of not just our faith, but our life, and how what we say we believe shows up in the daily.
To give a quick, people who are watching this show, they know the usual structure of the show. We're going to get to your life, how you were raised, things like that, and then we're going to get into like you being a father and things, because I just want to pick your brain on it like I always do. But before we start, we had some time to talk here before the show, like everybody does with me. You articulated very well of what I'm trying to do here on this show.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to try to repeat it because it was so well, but you go ahead.
For sure. So like I mentioned to Matt, hey, is it cool if I have my Bible here?
Yeah.
And I want it at the ready. It's on my phone, and I use that quite often. But I like to carry a physical Bible with me for a lot of reasons, not least of which is to remind me that I need to be in it. Number two, when I'm around and I'm actually physically opening this book, people can see what I'm doing, and they can ask questions or not. They can form their own opinions.
Right.
It's offensive or not, whatever. But what I see as, I love the name Steadfast Men. I think it highlights one of the principles that I like to talk to people about. I like to highlight this question, and I'll answer my question as I describe what we said. So one of the questions I ask people I work with, people in church, people in the culture, if you could have one silver bullet, only one, but you knew it would work to the absolute depth and bedrock of its design, you can only do one thing. What would you do? And I will I'll answer it with, when I have God's word and I'm reading black words on a white page, and I see it, I underline it, I pour over it, I highlight. It's actually getting off the page into I'm reading it with my eyes. It's getting into my mind and my heart, and then it becomes a part of me. I'm thinking God's thoughts after him. I think that's Augustine, I think that's him who said that to think God's thoughts after him. So now it's getting off the page into my life and lived out through my hands. And that's the picture of the steadfast man. And so the answer that I'll let people stew for a couple minutes, and oftentimes it's, well, if we could get politics, not so divisive, or if we could, you get all kinds of things. If we could feed the poor, if we could, like even secularists will say it's a good idea to feed the poor and get crime down and things like that. I'm like, well, how do you do that? And it's with the steadfast man. If you can restore, like a silver bullet, fatherhood, if you can restore the strength that men bring to their families, the
family unit, if you can, men stop evil. I would take a handful of my best friends, the guys you have on this podcast, I would take 20 of them. I'd go to Chicago with them to the gang-infested streets, and I would force them to shoot the first 5 of us and be like, we're going to keep coming because we're men of character. We're steadfast. You're going to have to do your worst because we're not going to stop. We're going to keep coming. We have the truth of God's word upon which we stand, and not just, I'm not standing on this book, but I'm standing on this book. Yeah.
It's how I govern my life. It's how it does the most good. I would challenge your listeners. I would challenge anybody that hears my words. Think of a better silver bullet that would do more good than restoring fatherhood and husbands.
I was just telling my son the other day, both my sons were there, but I just reminded him of that phrase. It's not a Bible verse, but it's kind of a principle, but evil prevails when good men do nothing.
Amen.
I'm sure you've heard
That's
that
right.
before. So whenever you're talking about this and describing that, that's what comes to mind, because I forget what happened. Something bad happened yesterday, and they were asking, why those things were happening. I was just using that principle. Good, evil prevails when good men do nothing.
Right.
And I'm trying my best to raise them to take a stand when they see something. They just started school, right? And it's like, hey, if you see something at school, you need to stand up and do something. You need to protect your brother. You need to protect yourself,
Right.
And
right.
so I love that principle, or I love how you articulated how you apply the Bible to your life, how you live your life, and to remain steadfast. So
It's what Ian Davis would always say, right? What stops a bad guy with a gun?
Yeah.
A good guy with a gun,
Very
right?
good,
So
yeah.
so it's like it's and it's not like a strongman argument as much as it is I stand upon the strength of God's word, the strong man that is who God is, and we have the right to do so, and it's not like something that is going to be I'm not lording it over anybody.
Right.
It's why I love people that look like me. It's why I love people that don't look like me. One of the things that I like to highlight as well is that it's not what the person looks like. It's their behavior. It's the ideas that they hold to. If I have bad ideas and you find that I have bad ideas, I formally want to charge you to charge me to spring those bad ideas from me. I don't want to be a guy who is living a bad fruit life.
Right.
I need to be sprung from those ideas, and people that look like me or don't look like me, people that I run in circles with or don't run in circles with, I want to keep the ideas separate from the person. The person bears God's image, and that's what gives them value. So, with this crazy woke culture we've kind of sort of come out of, it's not gone. It's still kind of ruminating.
Around. Yep.
It's still there. That's one way that we can combat that. Hate bad ideas, love good ideas, love God's image bearers. Because guess what? There was a day when I was not a steadfast man. There was a day when I was in my former sins, living my own life for me, and
that's what I want to get into.
yeah, it's good. I need to be gracious with that, Dave, because I'm not him anymore.
Yeah, to a certain.
Of course.
What I meant by that is just I want to start at the beginning, so like I do with every guy. So, you're from a small town that my brother-in-law is from.
Yeah.
I think Nicktown or the town next to Nicktown.
So I went to Catholic school in Nicktown at St. Nick's.
Okay.
But I lived, and that was the closest town, but technically I lived in Carrolltown,
okay.
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's where you grew up, and you were one of.
I'm number 5 out of 6 kids.
5 out of 6 kids.
Yeah.
On a buffalo farm.
On a buffalo farm. so like I I'm wearing.
Yeah.
This is who I am at heart.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah.
Huh. So you grew up on a buffalo farm. What was that like? Just tell us what it was.
So my dad
hard work.
Yeah. And so my dad and his brother Mark, they grew up. So my dad is number 12 out of 15 from a very Catholic family.
Wow.
And
15 kids.
Yeah. So they grew up on one side of the hill.
Okay.
And my dad and my uncle bought the other side of the hill.
Okay.
And my dad that's where he raised us.
Huh.
And my uncle ended up buying the family farm while grandma and grandpa were still around, but he bought it, and he ended up being the guy who was the stabilizer for the next generation. So my dad and my uncle bought that, and we raised North American bison, buffalo.
Interesting.
We had as high as 40 head at one point in time. I want to say we started in like 1985.
Okay.
I was born in 82.
Okay.
So I'm 43 today.
Okay.
And my dad always said, it's not a commercial buffalo farm. He had the farm to raise his kids, and I love him for that.
He's still around? He's
still around. Yeah. My mom went home to be with the Lord
Okay,
in 15.
Okay.
When she was 65, my dad was 66.
Okay.
And he's 76 now.
Okay.
So, but looking back, I'm a city slicker now.
Yeah.
And it drives me insane.
Yeah, you are. I was gonna say. Yeah, with living near Pittsburgh here and what you do for a living. All right, so you grew a lot of hard work, probably, right? And they probably slaughtered and sold the meat and things like that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, not commercially, like I said, but like there was any wedding that any of those 15 aunts and uncles, there were always weddings, there were always parties, so there was always buffalo meat.
Okay.
At the parties.
Tight-knit family, though, growing up. And you went to Catholic school?
I went to Catholic school until 6th grade, 5th or 6th. I forget.
Okay.
It's a little hazy, but...
And then you went to Northern Cambria then?
I did.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
And even all of that is interesting because, like, my mom and dad had my oldest 2 siblings, Tony and Sandy.
Okay.
They got married in 68. They had Tony in 69, Sandy in 70. So they had 2 kids inside of 12 months. Late May and early April the following year. So they had 2, waited 7 years,
and
had 4 more.
Wow.
I remember asking them, what were you guys thinking? What was going on?
I know.
So I think that there was a lot of help that Tony and Sandy were able to provide for the other 4 of us when we came along.
Interesting. Wow, that's awesome though. Big family, pretty.
I loved it.
Yeah, that's cool. So then, what was life like in high school? Did you like the outdoors? Were you in anything in particular?
We got in trouble doing stuff outside, and I mean, growing up on a farm, we always had something going on. We were fishing, and I never really got into hunting, other than small game. My dad would pay like 50 cents a squirrel for anything, because the squirrels would like cart, corn from the corn crib off, and my dad would just say, hey, take care of my varmint problem.
Yeah.
We would do that kind of hunting, but I never got into like big game hunting.
Okay.
But I did play basketball from 4th grade all the way up until I hurt my knee in the triple jump. So the 2 sports I did was basketball and track and field.
Okay. We got to play basketball sometime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can't run anymore.
Okay.
Because of that injury in the triple jump.
You
So
can still shoot though, probably,
I can
right?
still shoot
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. But I was I jokingly tell people I was this big. I'm 5'11". I was this big in kindergarten. So I grew fast. I was one of the
Yeah.
biggest kids. I was the center. So I was always like the big man. So I've
Yeah.
got post moves and stuff like
Okay.
that. But those are the two sports, and I skied a lot as well.
Nice.
But the sports injury for the triple jump was in my sophomore year. I did the triple jump. I got a second place with that jump, but I landed in the sand pit. It was April 1st of that year. And if you know West Central PA in that time of year, it's like the sand pit was like concrete.
Yeah.
Nobody had dug it up. So when I jumped and landed in the sand pit, my feet planted and didn't slide forward.
Eey.
I did a full squat and then some.
Ay.
I tore both medial meniscus in both knees, and this one worse than this one. Back then I had it. This one was repaired back
Yeah.
then. It was a large enough tear that they were able to fix it. And so I've had knee issues ever since. I've had them scoped since then. And but it's interesting. Back to that tree. I really believe that God, that's a grace. I can choose to look at that as a curse or a grace from God, because like I only have one gear on the field and on the court, and that is I'm going to destroy you, right? I'm going to get that ball. Go.
Yeah.
And he graciously helped me to see my humanity early. So I literally cannot run without my knees swelling up. So I will.
Jeez.
It's very calculated when I do run.
Yeah.
It'll be a full week before. So I'm on the track to having them both replaced at some point.
Okay.
And my doctors are like, put it off into the future as far as you can. So I will.
Yeah.
But all of it is a new day and grace that God gives. So I'm choosing to see that as a grace.
Yeah. So there went your athletic career,
Kinda.
I guess, right?
Kinda, yeah.
And then you took an interest in aviation in high school?
When I was...
what?
Yeah. So when I was a senior in high school, I remember thinking to myself, like, if you're a guidance counselor and you're listening to this, sorry, I'm going to throw you under the bus. But like the guys that I was, where I was rolling in those years of high school, I didn't have any direction.
Really?
It was pretty sparse.
Yeah.
I remember thinking to myself, all my friends are talking about college and stuff, and I'm like, what am I going to do? There's no 13th grade. I got to come up with a plan. So I took a gap year.
Okay.
I drove a water truck, those big 5-gallon jugs, and I
Like
delivered
Culligan
those.
or whatever?
It was a competitor to Culligan.
Okay.
It was actually, we would go to Roaring Springs, Pennsylvania, and get truckloads of water and bring them
No
back,
way.
and we would deliver to small towns,
Wow.
small businesses, all the way from as far north as Punxsutawney, as far
Okay.
south as Somerset.
Okay.
We would go to like Crescent,
Yeah.
and all the way out here to Salzburg was like our
area.
So I was delivering water to all over there, businesses, mines, homes, things like that. The hours were awesome, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay.
as a
Sweet. Made some money.
Yeah, I was 18 years old. And I didn't do this strategically, but looking back, it was totally God's blessing. I found myself, it's not that I got back later than the rest of the drivers, but I found myself asking questions of everybody I was delivering water to, at least at the businesses.
Like to get to know them, or
How do you like your job? Like
Really?
Yeah. I was delivering. I was in Indiana. I had
Yeah.
this run in one of these office buildings. We'd back into an alley, and it was the sketchiest backup. Every other delivery, everybody's delivering water to this or other stuff to this business, and I had to load them up on truck dollies, hand trucks, and I'm delivering like 20 gallons or 20 jugs to different offices in this building. And I remember thinking, this is the last thing I want to do is
For the rest of my life?
be in these offices.
Oh, okay. Yeah, with the people you were delivering to,
Right.
because you just saw them sitting all the time.
So I remember delivering water to the a couple different businesses at the Johnstown airport, and I was spending a little more time there asking questions, and it was good. So that kind of, and then so that kind of led me to ask some more questions. I wanted to be outside. I thought about being a law enforcement officer, or a pilot, or something that would get me out into like forestry service or something like that. And my uncle on my mom's side, she was number 4 out of 7.
Jeez.
Yeah, she was right in the middle.
Kids.
Yeah, lots of kids. He was an air traffic controller, and this was right prior to 2011.
Okay.
So he was finishing up his air traffic
Prior to
control.
9/11.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So this is like 99, 2000.
Okay.
I'm starting to talk to him, and 9/11 hasn't happened yet. And he's like, there's this flight school, and this is what they boast, that they, you go through their program and they'll give you an interview if you complete it. It's in Farmington, New Mexico, in the Four Corners of New Mexico. He was basically saying, here's this if you want to give it a try.
Yeah.
So he kind of directed me a little bit.
Okay.
Another benefit of family, right? My grandfather on my mom's side taught himself how to fly. He bought an air coupe out of the Sears and Roebuck magazine catalog back in 19 whatever,
and built it.
I don't know that he built it. I think it was built, but he taught himself how to fly. Yeah,
that's crazy. Around his farm and things like that, probably.
Yep, that's
check
right.
It out. Yeah.
Yep. And we're not building individuals like Grandpa anymore.
Yeah.
Like Pap
That's
Krenz.
impressive.
He did everything. He did everything.
Huh.
So, yeah. So there's some aviation in my family's history.
Okay.
Went to flight school graduated in 2000 from high school. And then in the fall of 2000, spring of 01, I was doing that water delivery driving gig.
Yeah.
And during that time, I was realizing, I said, Dad, I don't want to do this forever. He jumped out of his chair and said, I'll pay for school.
Really?
Because none of the other 5 of my siblings took him up on school.
Went to school.
My older brother did. He did the pilot thing.
Okay.
He got his private pilot's license, and he was working on his instrument rating, and then he got married, and that derailed that avenue for him. And so he doesn't fly much these days, but he's a pilot.
Yeah.
So Dad said, I'll pay for school, and this kind of started me down that track to talking to Uncle Bill.
Okay.
My mom's other brother, Ron, lived in Farmington, so that was an added bonus for going there. So I did that, and so that was fall.
Okay.
I started my gen eds fall of 01. I moved to Farmington in August.
Yeah.
I remember where I was. I was doing, I want to say we were 2 hours behind New York that morning that 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
My Aunt Gail and I were watching the TV 2 hours behind, and this was going down.
Yeah.
And airplanes flying into buildings and the whole thing. And it was just, I'm like, okay, so I'm getting into this industry. Yeah. So I was slated. So this was fall 01. I was slated to start summer 02.
Okay.
This happened. Enough people that were in the pipeline to start said, I'm out.
Really? They just got out of the industry?
Well, they just didn't go into the school.
Oh, okay.
The program.
Yeah.
So that created a start date for the spring of 02 for me.
Okay.
So I got my gen eds. I did some gen eds that fall of 01. 9/11 happened. And then I just started flying. January 7th of 02 was my first flight. And
what was that like? Well, I guess you hadn't probably been in the industry before it, because
right?
I'm imagining everything just changed and everything like that. But what was it like though? Still,
a lot of things did change for the people that were in the industry already.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that I had to look past. I had to like get up out of the current situation and recognize that this is going to need to recover on some level. So there's, the world's not going to stop, kind of like during COVID and the 2008 thing. Like when we have issues happening in the market, and you have to recognize that it self-stabilizes, because in 5 years from now, I'm going to be 48.
Yeah.
I guarantee you,
No
if
matter what.
Lord willing,
Yeah.
so time, the passage of time is the guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to spend another, wrap around the revolution around the sun. So I stayed the course, took some wisdom from aunts and uncles and my parents, and plodded along. So January 02, it was just a 2-year program. I got an aviation degree, an associate's degree in aviation technology. Got hired at the airline that school that belonged to. So they were a regional airline, Mesa Airlines.
Okay.
Had their own, like from zero to hire.
Okay.
With their airline, if
Okay.
you complete their program, and they were boasting a 98% hire rate for the people that came out of that program.
Good.
It was almost guaranteed. So I did that, and that was February of 04.
Okay.
So about 2 years and a month after I started. And that brought me back to the East.
Okay.
I love it out West. I spent those 2 years out there.
New Mexico. You liked it out there?
Yeah. My heart is definitely still in the Southwest for sure.
So then it brought you back here, and then you got hired with Mesa Airlines.
I did. Yeah.
Started working with them.
Yeah.
Now, where did you meet your wife? Was that later down the road?
Yeah. So.
And your faith too, I'm wondering.
Yeah. So this whole time, at one point in time, I want to say, like I said, I went to Catholic school to 6th grade, I think.
Yeah.
My mom really led us out of the Catholic Church.
Okay.
And into a non-denominational flavor.
Okay.
For lack of a better term, but it was also had the underpinnings of Assemblies of God.
Okay. And
but
like high school time frame?
That would have been like 7th, 8th, 9th. So like middle school, high school, so that was. I'm gonna say I was under my mom and dad's faith. I hadn't made it my own at that point. At some point in there, we went to Greater Johnstown Christian Fellowship. It was the name of that church in Johnstown, 30 minutes from where we were living. So there was no integral community of like daily, doing life with the church, which was, I don't know, like, that area. There's not, if you're living in any rural portion of West Central PA, there's not a lot of robust church happening. No. I would say there's a spiritual oppression on some level. I don't know, like we can talk about that, but came out of Catholicism, and somewhere I got saved I came forward at a church service put on by the Power Team. Are you familiar at all?
Nope.
There's these strong men, these bodybuilders that they would do superhuman feats. They would blow up like hot water bottles. They would lay on beds of nails, and they would like bench press stuff.
Really?
Yeah. They had like these big, massive ice blocks, and they would do like all these cool things that 7th or 8th or 9th grader would be like, this is cool,
Yeah.
And then they would say, listen, these are things that we are doing in our own strength. These are not things that will get us to heaven. No amount of working will get you to heaven. So
Never heard of them.
It was incredible.
The Power Team.
It was a thing through that season, and I would say, the way I understand theology today, that I entered the kingdom of God that day.
Yeah, that day is when you remember where you were like, okay, there's something bigger than myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Caveat to
However, it happens to most people. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's different in my opinion. Some people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I would say like I entered the kingdom of God, but however, I was still under my mom and dad's faith.
Yeah.
I would say that as I've matured in my faith, the altar call is a super dangerous thing. Super dangerous.
Yeah.
Because there are people beside me, left and right, that would be part of an altar call, and that's it. I walked an aisle. I said a prayer.
Check it off.
Ding.
Yeah. Yeah.
But are they looking at the tree that is their life daily?
Huh. That's it. Yeah.
So
it's a good point.
So like that's where I find that the altar call can be. It was for me. It was actually. I may have entered the kingdom of God that day. That might be my point of salvation, but there was an awful lot of sanctification.
That was the beginning, the starting point for you.
Yeah, I would say that. Because over the next several years, I've had, I would call them different seasons of faith. One of which was like, we don't need to get bogged down in this today, but extreme Pentecostalism.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember you sharing a little bit.
I was an elite Christian.
Yeah.
And
Super Christian.
the group I was rolling in, we were super Christians, and we were doing things. And what got me out of that was the question I asked one day of myself: who wants to come to this church? Who is going to walk in here and be like, I don't want a part of this? Where I am today is we should be doing church in the church, and people figuratively looking in the windows and saying, I do not belong in there, but I want to.
Yeah.
You know, so it should be,
Something about 'em.
It's exclusive. It's exclusively inclusive, where, yes, we absolutely are different from outside, but you're invited.
Yeah.
This is for everybody. Come and taste and see who Jesus is and what he's about.
Not conform to the pattern of this world,
Amen.
but we're still, to
Yeah.
love each other and invite you in. That's a very good way to put it. Because I was also part of that little elite, the super Christian. You're better than everybody else because you can wear.
We were
a
not
suit,
preaching the gospel.
Yeah.
There was nobody was getting saved. Nobody was being discipled. It was this
Altar call number kind of thing.
We were measuring stuff.
Yeah.
It was like, it was weird.
Yeah.
For sure. So I did, and we had like extended long, like Friday nights at 7, we had home groups. This home group went into the night.
Yeah.
And we were spiritual. And it was really like works.
I was just about to say, the more I've been, sorry, I didn't mean
No, go for it.
Cut you off, but I've been processing a lot, obviously, lately, and people know the story, but yeah, it ends up being a lot of workspace things.
Yeah.
The all,
I felt super good.
Yeah, you feel, because you're accomplishing something, and you're like, yep, but then it's like, no, if you go back to the gospel, Jesus plus anything is really not the gospel.
You're right.
And so you're really just adding things to make yeah. Sorry, you touched on a point that I've been recently
for sure.
learning about.
Feel free.
Yeah.
So that's one of, I'd say maybe 3, 4, 5 different bookended seasons that I would place in my Christian
in your walk
journey. Yeah.
Journey.
Yeah. So that's one, then I got into this, I don't want to call it extreme, but it was dispensationalism, where there was different programs for different times. And it's not that that's not necessarily true, but we were definitely putting up some boundaries, and it was just that wasn't always super helpful. And then another stop, so back to flight school and getting done with getting hired at Mesa on Groundhog Day of 2004. I remember that August. So I was done with flight training. I'm gainfully employed, not making a ton of money back then. I was 21.
Okay.
And I remember thinking to myself, well, I do want to travel. That's one of the things I wanted to do. Another thing that got me into aviation was I wanted to have irregular schedules. I didn't want to work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, 2 days off. One thing that my job, definitely, it's a downside, where I'm working days in a row away. I also have large chunks of time off. Currently, I'm sitting in the middle of 12 days off.
Yeah.
So
okay.
It's it's nice.
Yeah.
And that was one of the attractive parts to this occupation. So you take the good with the bad. And I thought, I want to travel. So I don't want to travel by myself. I'm not gonna travel with my girlfriend and stay in the same hotel room. I know me. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And I am steadfast on that principle. So I'm checking my email one day, and a pop-up for eHarmony
No way.
pops up. And I'm like, stupid thing. What is this? I've said, well, I'll tell you what. I'll just fill it out and see how close they peg me. If I think that this, what was it? It was 29 dimensions of compatibility or whatever. And I'm like, I'll give it a shot. This was 2004.
Okay.
The internet isn't super old yet.
Yeah.
And so I fill this thing out. It takes me like 40 minutes and I'm done. I put my search radius, the world, not my locale, right?
Yeah.
And I sign up for it for 30 days. And that's how Bethany and I met.
No way.
I think she signed up for 3 months. Or 4 months or whatever it was, like the next tier of subscription.
Yeah.
So that was August of 04.
Real quick, you're like I know more people than I would have ever expected that met their spouse online.
Is that right?
Yeah. Steve, who was on this podcast, he met his wife online. It was his only like profile. So it's you don't expect, but it happens more common than not.
Well,
so
I wonder.
that's cool.
I wonder about that era of time as opposed to now. I don't know. There's a lot more platforms.
Yeah.
And but eHarmony worked out. So like she was a hole in one for me. Like she was the only girl I met.
Same as Steve. That's crazy.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Like I was, I think, number 7 for her or number 6 for her. Like, so
Okay.
she was on that amount of time and she's like, am I ever going to meet this guy? Like there are guys that she's meeting and she's in Frederick, Maryland at this time.
Okay.
She's working in physical therapy and she's getting like, Secret Service agents and she's getting like high profile guys from the city. And she's like, I guess I'll go out with you. And she's like, after a while, she was like, I'm done with this. What is it? She was like about to be done. And I was the last one. And she and I met. We exchanged numbers and we were talking on the phone and we asked very intentional, very like.
She was strong in her faith.
She was strong in her faith.
Okay.
Yeah. Her dad, I love him.
Yeah.
Jack.
That's cool.
That guy, the way that he came to faith, he got married and he would say he wasn't a Christian even though he was in church. He got married and he threw out all of his secular music. He became a voracious reader.
Okay.
And that guy was like,
Black and white.
yeah, he loves Jesus. And I know that he is responsible in his faith. So back to Steadfast Men. My dad's a steadfast guy for sure. But I would say that my mom led spiritually in my house. I love them both. They were both
Absolutely.
super instrumental in my formation in that house and all of that. But Jack has this like leadership that I don't. It's not possible to tell how many lives that have been influenced by that particular steadfast man. And he probably won't even see this podcast. But listener, viewer, be that guy. Don't worry about the fruit. Jesus will. He's the great vine dresser.
Yeah.
Or God the Father is, Jesus being the vine. So yeah, Bethany and I met, and we met after talking a lot on the phone. We met at Bob Evans in Breezewood.
Nice.
And there wasn't a whole lot of talking going on. We were just taking each other in.
Yeah.
We met, had a meal. She drove back to Frederick. I drove back to Dubois, Pennsylvania, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
It's French, right?
Yeah.
And she was living with her roommate in Frederick, and she said, "I just met the guy that I'm going to marry."
No way.
Yeah.
Pretty confident.
Yeah.
That was
it was pretty cool. So that was August.
Okay.
Back to Jack.
How many years is it now?
So it's
Sorry, not to
we
put you
just
on the
no, you're
spot.
fine. No, we got married in the following July of 05, so 20.
20. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did. I think you did tell me that.
But
That's
that
awesome.
fall, like
20
so,
years.
between August of 04 and November, back to Jack. Like he's like, you're intentional about asking questions. She's intentional about asking questions.
Yeah.
I think you guys have concluded that you want to be married. And I think you want to be married to each other. So he said to me, he's like, why don't you, what's keeping you back?
Wow.
My father-in-law, my future.
I know.
Yeah. I thought, okay. So it was really cool. We intentionally,
That's cool.
and this is a principle that I would suggest any online dating couple do, but we invited my parents and siblings and people that know me well. We invited her parents and siblings and people that know her well to identify to us, we formally said, identify our blind spots as we pursue this relationship. And that was, I mean, we spent those 4 months together. I proposed on the Gateway Clipper in November of 04. And it was cold.
I bet.
And we set the date for July 16, 05.
Nice.
And we've been married since consecutively 20 consecutive years.
That's awesome. 20 years. That's awesome. Well, a lot that I can learn from. I'm always curious. Anybody who's been married long, I just like, what's your advice? I meet with the people that know, I'm a hospice chaplain, and I meet with people in their 80s and 90s all the time, every day, and I get to talk to them. And so I'm always asking, hey, what was your secret? So same question. Go ahead. What's your tips?
What I would say is trust the process.
Yeah.
She and I would say on that day that we committed ourselves to today and beyond, that this has been a hard road. Aviation, they call it aviation-induced divorce syndrome, AIDS. There's a major contingent of pilots, flight attendants, pilots and flight attendants getting together.
Being away.
Yep. Double lives, and especially like prior to the internet and prior to cell phones and stuff, pilots living double lives, and the whole that is and was a real thing. It is not a part of my life at all. In fact,
it's amazing.
There was a woman, a flight attendant one time, this is while I was at Mesa, she said, I was in the cockpit setting up the flight, and she comes in, she's looking over my shoulder, she's like, hi, Dave, are you married? I said, I am. She said, are you happily married? I said, I am. And the wheels got to turning, so that put her off. She went back into the cabin, and I said, let's be clear here. I'm not sure exactly what you were driving at, but I think I know. And I want you to understand something. If I were to cave on my principles, I would no longer be attractive. I would be damaged goods. I would be somebody that is not worth having a relationship like you're proposing with. There's a reason why people are attractive, for the principles that they live. And I guarantee she was attracted to me because I had my stuff together.
Yeah.
I had a lot to lose. That's not why I say no to her, the seductress, the adulteress. The
Proverbs
reason
talks about.
Yeah. I am looking with Bethany and I am looking at down through the corridor of time. I'm looking at death parting us. So back to your question about tips, advice, commitment. Life has been hard in sickness and in health. Bethany, when she was pregnant with Grace in 08, was diagnosed with a brain tumor, a benign brain tumor. We got married in 05. This was 08. We already had Caleb, and Grace. That's how she got her name. Because we leaned really, really hard on God's grace.
Wow.
And it did not break. And so we felt compelled to call her by that name. And so like there's the sickness, there's the health. She's currently dealing with health issues. We had seasons of me being away. So what brought us to Pittsburgh in 2016, we came to Pittsburgh and I got hired at Allegiant in 2016, which was a breath of fresh air. So I flew from Mesa from 04 to 16. I flew 2 different airplanes for Mesa. Both of them were good, and we can talk about that some other time, but I don't want it to take up time. All I will say about that was the first 4 years were spent on the 1900, which I was home every night on that airplane. The next 8 plus were spent on trips away in hotels. September 16 came along. I got hired at Allegiant. Allegiant is an Airbus operator. They fly far, home every night. Game changer.
Good for a family, man.
Good for family.
Yeah.
And then in 23, other things in the industry were going on and details that I won't bore you with, but I prayerfully made the decision to shift gears from Allegiant. Broke my heart to do this, but things were rough at Allegiant, and opportunities were expounding at Delta, American, and United. So I went ahead and interviewed and got hired at American, and I'm in my third year there now, and we're hitting our stride at this point. In the first 5 years at American, we will absolutely be back to that same good of the 7-year season at Allegiant. But I'm telling you, I told people, I said, don't ask me how I like the change. Compared to Allegiant, I will not like the change because I was able to be home every night, and that is a game changer. It's we all have the same amount of time. That is the great equalizer. How do we spend it?
Yeah, how do you spend it is the difference there.
Yeah.
Wow. So we talked about marriage a little bit, commitment, 20 years. That's amazing. Interesting you talking about different ups and downs, having kids, sickness and health. I can definitely
good times and bad.
Right.
The different airplanes that I flew over that time. We built a savings. 2008 financial issue. I went from captain to the right seat.
Yeah.
And I was making. We were doing the extreme Bethany is amazing. Extreme couponing.
Wow.
I'll never forget. She's sitting there looking at coupons. She's like, "Hey, can you take this to the thing and use this?" I'm like, "It's $1." She's like, "I know, it's $1." Meaning like that's awesome.
Yeah.
She was like double in and
Good for
working
her.
that whole thing. So like, would I choose the 2008 downturn again? No, I wouldn't.
But you learned a lot.
But I wouldn't choose it, but I'm so grateful that we went through it. So, good times and bad, sickness and health, love, seasons of like, seasons of love, like it's all there. It is all there. 20 years is not easy. Kids, launching kids.
I was going to say, you have 4.
Work. We do. Yeah. And the first one, boy, girl.
Yeah.
Caleb's he's knocking on the door of 19 here, mid-September. Grace is 17. Ethan's 13. Kaylin's 10. Hard.
But I will say that I've talked with all of them, and they are great. In my opinion, they
are great
compared to a lot of kids that you sometimes meet that can't even look at you in the eye or even speak.
Bethany's my hero. She has homeschooled all 4 of them.
And homeschool, that was another thing I wanted to kind of touch on. So yeah, tell the listeners, viewers, and me too, just how you guys went about that process. So homeschool, you got to that stage. Okay, do we homeschool? Do we not homeschool?
Yeah. So like our mindset was, we've got kids. Again, like, what are we going to do about school? We weren't like homeschool minded from the beginning, but we were raising a 4-year-old who we were teaching to put the square block in the square hole and the round block, and we were teaching scripture memory. Your kids are amazing. Like, I love listening to how, like, I'm asking them how they're doing. Very well, thank you. They're just such polite young men. But you're teaching that.
Yeah.
You're clearly teaching that and training, and Jack always said it's not teaching. Proverbs says train up a child the way he should go.
Yeah.
And when you're done, train some more. Train. So it literally is training, and I love that distinction. But so we're doing these things when they're out of school age. And Caleb, this is a blessing of God. So Caleb he wasn't 5 at the beginning of the school year. He was 4, turned 5 September 14th. So we were going to start him early or hold him back. And we said, we love this kid. Nobody loves this guy more than we do. Let's do school at home. And we did it 1 year. Simple reading, simple math, simple, super, like just doing what we were doing last year. And it came around time to officially start him. And we're like, no. We're not sending this kid that we love away. By that time, Grace is around. Sweet little independent Grace. I love her. she is so inspiring in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
So we kept Caleb at home.
Okay.
And we said, we are not leaving this guy alone. And this is my favorite time to insert this. So we homeschooled him all 14 years, right? We're going to count that first year
Right.
as a year. And in the state of Pennsylvania, you don't have to report until they're 8
Okay.
to the school district.
Okay.
And so we could not have spent more time with him. All my time at Allegiant, all my time at American, all my time at Mesa, we literally did everything we possibly could to spend as much time with him. And I love that guy. It still isn't enough.
I remember you saying that to me.
That is my mantra. That is
Yeah.
my, if you have kids,
Mm-hmm.
cherish them, because they are it's not my 401k
Mm-hmm.
for retirement.
Yeah.
If we pour into the relationships, if we don't pour into the relationships that matter most, what's the point?
Yeah.
Why did you even do it in the first
Mm-hmm.
place? So this is not even me talking about how much I don't like publicly funded education.
Mm-hmm.
And because I think it's doing exactly what it was designed to do. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Private school is next, but
Mm-hmm.
it's the time. It's the redemption of time that you can't get back.
Yeah.
So that's our why. That's a part of our why. Whether we realize it or not, we're all motivated with a why.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to ask me why we homeschool, first, it's because we love our kids. Second, it's because we love truth.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's, and we're not hiding them under a rock. We're teaching them about evolution.
That's
We're
for
teaching them
sure.
about all the stuff that we disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
But we're taught in atheism. We're talking about all these worldviews that are contending against the Christian faith. And when you do it that way, you're able to highlight the truth of who God says he is and how the most coherent education, and we're not doing school at home, we're giving our kids an education, a bucket to be filled. It's not a bucket that you fill up once and set it aside.
Mm-hmm.
It's a flame that you light and you just keep fueling that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, sorry, I feel like I'm really just going off
No,
here.
yeah, it's good.
Just, there's an awful lot of reasons, and people oftentimes don't realize that they are doing what they do with a why, even if it's a poor why. Even if the answer is boiled down to its base, I'm lazy,
Yeah.
or I want what I want, or whatever. It's, I desire to, again, be that tree that when I look at it, I see the fruit. Or when you look at it and you come to me and say, Dave, there's some rotten fruit growing there.
Mm-hmm.
To take an honest look and say, oh, yeah, that needs rooted out.
Yeah.
A little more fertilizer.
What do you, so as a father, you're a pilot, you're coming and going, your wife's homeschooling your kids, you have 4 of them, 2 boys, 2 girls, different personalities, right?
Yep.
Talk to the man who is doing his best to go to work every day, take care of the house, make sure the bills are paid,
Yeah.
loving his wife, but then also then making sure 4 other kids are loved. How'd you juggle that? How'd you balance it? And you're still doing it. So, yeah.
I would start with this. Don't have 15 kids. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I guarantee, and this was true of my dad's siblings, that there were 7, I forget it, I always get it backwards. There was either 8 boys or 8 girls, 7 boys or 7 girls. It was split. And there were
So many kids.
so many kids. Some of those older sisters did the raising of the younger ones. So Pap was in the field doing his thing,
Working all day,
working on the farm, doing what he did. Grandma was doing what she did, training everybody. They were engaged parents, but there's only so much time in the day,
Right.
only so much engagement. So like even me and my parents, there were 6 of us. The first 2 were kind of gone a little bit when I came around, but I was number 5.
Okay.
6 is okay. 5's even better. I think 4 is a sweet spot. I really do, as far as engaging them.
Yeah.
What I do and what life for me and my dynamics affords me is, especially with today, 2025, I will FaceTime with Kaylin and Ethan. I'll take half of Battleship with me, and we play Battleship
No
over
way.
FaceTime. Yeah.
That's cool.
We play Farkle.
That's so cool.
I love Farkle. We'll play Farkle over FaceTime.
Yeah.
Not as much as I should, but like I'm looking for opportunities. I'm having relationships like this, getting ideas of how to engage them, and to just
be intentional.
To try to be intentional. Yeah, and because you're not getting that time back. Time is like water under the bridge, you know. And now that Caleb's in college, he's at Rosedale Technical School, Technical College, and that's done. He's out, and I like you know me. I like analogies and word pictures. Psalm 127. My dad always said, you know, it speaks to how children are like arrows in the hand of a warrior. Blessed is the man who has a quiver full. My dad used to say, I don't know how many is a quiver full, but he's like, I think 6 is on the way. So, behold, children are a heritage from the Lord, the fruit of the womb of a reward, like arrows in the hand of a warrior, and children of one's youth. Blessed is the man who fills his quiver with them. He shall not be put to shame when he speaks with his enemies in the gate. Wow. I think when I speak with my enemies in the gate, what's going to defend me? The work I put in, I hope. And that's what you're kind of speaking to is the reason why you have me on. I think about how an arrow is, as you draw it from your quiver and you set it to let it fly, the goal is to send it to a time that I hope to never see. I am currently an arrow that my mom and dad have sent to a time that my mom hasn't yet seen.
Good point, yeah.
My dad, I pray that my dad, the arrow, hits his mark before I hit the mark, and that I won't see my kids land. I don't want to see them hit their mark. I want to know that the work I put in was I made a true arrow. And, you know, I love God's word for that reason, because he's so kind to us to give us stuff like that.
Yeah.
To see us. He gives us, we're fathers, right? How otherwise can an infinite being give finite beings any kind of context for how to understand the infinite? But to give us fatherhood, to give us the reality of Christ in the church, he gives us husbands and wives. He gives us brotherhood. We are contending for the faith together. Like it's I see it as an incredible kindness of him to put flesh on that ultimate reality of him and us.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm even off on a rabbit trail or
not.
No.
But I love, I was just thinking about, you know, we're talking about raising your kids so that you can send them out, which you kind of are doing, or what you kind of did with Caleb. And, you know, he's out right now. And which was going to lead to my next question of then incorporating faith. You know, at home, you guys, you and Bethany taught them character and great traits, and I can tell that, and your respect, all that. But now, how did you? And we've talked before about how no two theologies are the same, right?
That's right.
And I love that too, just because for me personally, I'm always studying and learning and trying to sharpen with other brothers and things like that. I'm never trying to just pigeonhole myself to one thing. I'm open to learning. But what was I getting at with my question now? How did you then continue to navigate your faith, you know, as you're growing as a Christian, the road to sanctification, like you said,
right.
As you're growing in your faith? Now, how did you instill that into your kids? You have 4 kids. You raise them in the church. They all seem to have great faith. So anything that you can speak to fathers out there as far as raising your kids in the church and having them take hold of their own faith?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say that, so personally, I'll start personally, then I'll expand to the kids and how I shepherd my family. I'm a big... I want to highlight the fact that I stand on the shoulders of giants. Like, you know, I gained a lot through listening to Dr. R.C. Sproul
Yep.
and renewing your mind on those commutes between Waynesboro, PA, and Dulles. I would spend an hour and a half on the road. I'd listen to 3 episodes of it. He helped to form and shape. I don't agree with everything.
Right. Yeah.
I love John MacArthur. I don't agree with everything. I love Vodi Bakum. He's the one that got me and Bethany into, like, his first thing we listened to was, why are we surprised when we send our children to Rome, to Caesar? Why are we surprised when they come back as Romans?
Interesting.
So, like, that was his thing that got us really, like, yeah, like, we were able to look down the road and say, this is what we want to produce. What are we going to do in the interim between now and then? So back real quick, no 2 people have the same theology, including me. My theology has grown in sanctification and my understanding and application of grace and humility over the course of time. So if you're listening to this and you find yourself listening to one man or another, or identifying with one or another, I've got friends who are currently in the process of converting to Catholicism. And my biggest issue with that is so many people talk about how, why did you leave the Catholic Church? The Catholic Church is still a Christian denomination. I don't want to convert to a denomination. That just doesn't,
So good.
It's not right rolling off the tongue. So if I have issues with the Southern Baptist Convention or with the PCA or the Presbyterian USA or Evangelical, is it the E? The point being that there are
Insert the blank. Yeah.
it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
What do I most closely define or identify with? Jesus.
Is Jesus the way, the truth, and the life?
I wonder, is Jesus a Southern Baptist?
Yeah.
Or is he a PCA? Or is he a Catholic? Like, the point,
Yeah.
I identify with, like, RC taught me this, if nothing else, that I can recite the Apostles' Creed, and at the end, I believe in the Holy Catholic Church, small c Catholic Church.
Yeah.
We are all part of the same body, one baptism, one faith.
Yeah.
And so if you find yourself pigeonholed, like we would say that we go to a non-denominational, whatever,
Yeah.
who cares? Do you love Jesus?
Yeah.
Is his work sufficient, or is my work needed? Enough said. But back to the kids and how, like, that's what we wanted to establish them in. And the curriculum we used for our homeschool is we landed on classical conversations. It's a classical method where really robust, over my head, just going to be honest. Bethany is the lead learner in our homeschool. She's redeemed her education. I've redeemed mine to a degree. We're both readers now, and I'm able to speak about it thoughtfully, purposefully. But it's incredible because we do it as a community. We do it together 1 day a week. We a lot of just great stuff. But the way I like to describe it to people I run with at work or wherever is that there's only 2 religions. The one where God is in the center and everything else revolves around him, and he informs our understanding about everything. And everything around him is in context of everything else. That's the classical Christian model. The other religion is the one where this is me in the middle.
Yeah.
And math, science, sociology, women's studies, and the rest of it. All of the stuff is, and how does that relate to me? And this is where I am in the center, and I am the God of my universe.
Yeah.
So there's only 2. You boil it down, every other world faith, polytheism, all of it. Who is God in your worldview? So that's what we've done our best to identify and eradicate and put God back in the center of how his world works, what he has done throughout history, what has happened inside of history in science, in the different discoveries and the rest of it, math and all of it. So I kind of think I'm coming back around to answering your question about how we've formed and fashioned our arrows to defend us in the gate. It has a lot to do with relationship building, and it looks like this. Kids, if you get nothing else out of being a Brawley during your time in this house, you will learn and see what it looks like to ask for forgiveness, to see that dad was wrong, to see that, yeah, there's troubles and issues, but you are safe. There is nothing, because we stand on that, there's nothing that will shake your foundation. So it is sufficient for every and all things, from the beginning of time to the consummation of it all. I love that.
Yeah, that's thank you. I don't know if the listeners or viewers have ever seen, but I have a world map just of time, and starting in the beginning of when Adam and Eve were created, and then all the way up to present time. But I think what you were saying was, and what came to mind was your intentionality. Whenever you're saying, like, you know, when you're on the road, you're playing Battleship with your kids on FaceTime, and the fact that you're being intentional to spend time with them, keeping that relationship with them, so that whenever they have questions about their faith, and then also, like, you included classical conversations, which is a Christian homeschooling curriculum, which Laura and I are still considering and looking into for the future. But I just think that's really cool how not only are you being intentional, you have a relationship with them to then talk about God and their faith, but then your education, it's like, I love that analogy that you said, because then everything is based around God,
That's
know,
right.
Instead of me, my sports, my life, my, you know, and it's like, where can I fit God into that?
He's not,
which you see in society.
He's not a spoke or a point on a spoke of the wheel.
No, he is.
He's the hub. And so like, it's interesting to watch Caleb come out from under that and go to this public, you know, situation where he's is
he noticing stuff?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I fully expect him and all the kids at some point to say thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me. So it's about formation. You hit it earlier. I mentioned formation. I was formed in my home on the buffalo farm, right? Lots of good, lots of bad, lots of indifferent. Like, that's our family of origin, how we were growing in the concrete as it hardens. Then God's word comes along in Romans 12 and says, do not be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So we are never done being formed. The question is, are we being formed around me being the center of my world, or Christ being the center of our world? And what is incredible about this is this could come across as arrogant, or it could come across as like controversial. Like, I lean heavily into seemingly controversial topics because I don't see them as controversial. The truth is divisive, and when I find myself on the incorrect side of truth, I'm offended. When somebody brings truth to me and my life is found wanting, I don't like it. But I desire it to be righted and brought back in alignment with the truth. So, you know, just because truth is, a friend of mine talks about truth doesn't give a rip about what you think of it. But how does it go? I forget. It's a scripture. I don't know. Somebody's talking about how Jesus is like the truth, and he's the cornerstone.
Yeah.
He'll fall on you.
Builders rejected.
Yeah. He'll fall on you and crush you, or you can use it to build. Like, the point is that it's not controversial.
Yeah.
It's just, it's sufficient. So it is, because of its nature, because of his nature. He is truth. He is. I love that truth is a person. And we can align our lives with it. One of the things I say about a so-called controversial topic of our day is abortion. I don't think it's controversial at all. Like, I mean that, because, and the way I address that is, so was your mom not pro-life? Like, you're sitting here, how can you sit here and say you're pro-choice when you enjoy breath? And it's just loving your neighbor and getting rid of that idea, seeing them as an image bearer that needs to be eradicating bad ideas. I'll take your babies. I'll take, you want to, let's adopt instead of abort. And that's just like my thing. But it's, I don't even know where I'm going with that necessarily, but it's...
You're very open to learning. You're very open to debating, but not, in my opinion, you're very good at, like, not debating, but you're very good at, like, questioning, articulating, going back and forth in a dialogue, because you're very relational. You don't come across, in my opinion, you also don't come across as arrogant or offensive. It's just you genuinely like conversating, like we did outside of church the other day, you know, like...
Right.
Instead of sitting there on our phones, you know, not doing anything, me and you chose to, like, hey, let's talk about... I don't even remember what we talked about.
Well, you highlighted how this podcast is something you desire to see grow wings and fly, but yet it's on the device. So there's a balance we all must walk.
Yeah.
So back to, like, how to integrate and to love and to grow and to fertilize your kids and your posterity. It has a lot to do with... I don't want to be the guy who's saying, get off your phone, get off your phone. I mean that. Get off your phone and spend time on the face to face with me. Be with the people you're with, not the people you're not with. But it's a part of our world.
I know.
So I don't want to be harping on it.
Yeah.
I want to inspire better. So watcher, listener, you know, we're glad to have you, but understand that we will be living in this tension for the rest of our lives, and to screen or not to screen, right? And how it's changing us, and to consider all these things. I appreciate the compliment, because that's part of what Classical Conversations is all about. It's educating us on how to know God, how to make Him known, how, and then this is an R.C. Sproul thing, how we want to help you understand. He was all about, we want to bridge the gap, renewing your mind, between Sunday school and seminary. We want to teach you how to know what you believe, why you believe it, how to live it, how to share it. That's the conversation. There's the grand conversation happening. There's a bunch of bad ideas and good ideas. So let's, as they're all floating around the ether, right? Let's talk about them. Let's articulate them. Let's kill the bad ones, elevate the good ones, loving neighbor in the midst of it. And I think you're right. I appreciate you saying what you said. I think my kids have seen that. They're right now listening and watching the heated battles going on in a home where there are young people and old people trying to find old people. Caleb and Grace, older end of they're jockeying for position and where they're going to fit into life post Brawley household. So I will by no means claim that we did it right. Hear me.
Doing your best. You're following the word, following God, doing your best.
I want to highlight one thing that is part of our daily. And I pray will always be, even after the kids are out of the house. So Bethany has, being the lead learner, she has gleaned so much good from so many moms in the same, like hard mom season of raising kids and homeschooling and all of that. She has gleaned so much, and she desires to be that for other moms. One of the biggest things that we've benefited from is morning time. So from 8:50 to 9, we watch. World News Group puts out it's a video. It's called World Watch. Okay. It's world news from a student's perspective, or aimed at students. Super good. I love it.
Can you send that to me along with
everything
else that I ask you to send me?
Yes, I will. Now that is
a whole list of things I ask you to send me all the time.
That's a paid subscription, but I would absolutely recommend it. It's not expensive, and I think even me signing you up will get me a free month or something like that.
Happy to help.
But it's so good for the kids. We look forward to it. Here's another thing. I enjoy all the time the balance between sharing screens and stories together as all the six of us, where we share a story and we can laugh about it and enjoy it later together, as opposed to when you've got six people in a minivan riding to six different stories. That's
crazy.
Yeah, they're apartments.
Like I
There's
grew up being told, look out the window. You know,
If you must be
there's
on a
nothing wrong
screen,
with that.
if you're going to do a screen, do it together as much as you possibly can. Share a common story.
Yeah.
Share a common conversation.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Where was I going with that? Oh, World Watch, and then
Yeah.
morning time officially starts at 9 to 9:30.
Okay.
That is family worship time. That's time to memorize scripture as a family. That's time to work through a text, chapters in a book of the Bible for the year, and to Bethany has a great devotion-led questions for each of the what we're going through, and so we do Bible reading, we do Bible memorization together as a family, we do questions, so Devo, and then we learn every Monday. We learn our 4 days a week because Monday is our homeschool community day.
Yeah.
We learn about, she does, and I fill in when I can. She will do the history of a psalm.
Okay.
Or a hymn, and a hymn, and then we'll spend the next 4 days or 3 days singing. So what's the history? And so we do we worship to YouTube. We're just YouTubing it. You can play if somebody's talented on the guitar, do it. But we are worshiping God in the midst of it. It's 30 minutes plus that 10 minutes of World Watch, and that starts our day.
That's awesome.
She has been incredible about
That's really cool.
instituting the handful. Make your bed, brush your teeth, brush your hair, eat breakfast. What was the fifth? Just basically be ready for the day.
Yeah.
So that when 8:50 happens, this is not perfect.
Yeah.
We fight this every day, but it's training, right? So shout out to Bethany for that.
Yeah, your wife's incredible, and she's been very helpful to Laura. Just just having conversations once again, just like me and you have. So
she's an advocate.
Yeah.
for homeschooling for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Had to take a quick break. We're almost done here. Before the interview, you were talking about how you're scribing the Bible, which I think is amazing.
Yeah.
And also anything else that you want to plug too. But tell the viewers and me real quick, reasons why you want to scribe the Bible, benefits from it, things like that.
Yeah.
And you can plug that company too.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's I don't know the actual publisher, but it's the Deuteronomy 17:18 project.
Okay.
And for those listening, you guys can check out what that text is. That was God saying, I know right now in the establishing of the law of God and the rest of it, we don't currently have a kingdom, right? But I know you will. You're going to get into the promised land. You're going to want to look like the neighboring nations. So whenever you establish a kingdom, the king, one of the rules for the king will be to copy in his own hand a copy of the law, so that he'll have it, so that he'll have read it, so that he'll have put it in his own mind and heart, and he'll have it to study. So that's what I'm doing is, and again, this is something that Bethany brought to me, which is so good. You're writing in your own hand the text of the Bible, and I mentioned to you, it's not like getting into the. I think they have Leviticus available.
Okay.
You could do this on your own, but on the right side of the page is 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 verses with appropriately spaced space to write each verse under each number.
Right.
So you're writing on the right side, and on the left you're journaling or you are commenting or whatever.
Your thoughts.
You can use your thoughts. There are there's gray, like a light gray that has prompts for things to think about this text that you're writing. It has. I'm certain that they've got all of the New Testament and a lot of books in the Old Testament. I've done Proverbs already. They've got all 5 books of the Psalms. They've got. I know you could do Genesis and the Pentateuch and the rest of it, but so there's really I've really found a benefit in it. I will unless the Lord takes me home soon, I won't have all of them, but it's a neat practice to get into. And so that's one thing I would plug. The other thing is I'm dressed like this because this is who I am, right? I'm a farmer at heart. I'm struggling in the suburbs of Pittsburgh, But we just finished a weekend at MMR.
Oh yeah, tell us about that.
Miracle
'Cause
Mountain
I'm like
Ranch
that.
is in Corey, Spring Creek, actually, Pennsylvania. It's about the same latitude as Erie, PA,
Okay.
just a little bit to the east.
Okay.
And it's a horse camp. It's a Wild Western themed discipleship. It's Christian through and through. I love what Miracle Mountain Ranch is doing. They are our people.
Yeah.
It's a part of Friday all the way through part of Monday family camp, and they've got a Wild Western city street. They've got the Oxy Oak Inn. They've got the Broken Straw Bathhouse. They've got different, and you stay in the different places. You can do any level of camping, cabins, or all the way down to tent camping,
Okay.
anything in between.
Okay.
They supply your meals. There's morning chapel, evening chapel, and everything you could ever imagine to fill your day
Yeah.
as a family.
Wow.
For us, phones go off, except for to take pictures.
Yeah.
But it's family camp. We have a good time with as a family and as extended family too. So I would recommend that. They do a ton of other camps. They do wilderness camps. They do extreme survival camps. They do lots of cool things.
Throughout the year, so it's not
Throughout
just
the
that
year.
one, because you went over Labor Day weekend, right?
Yeah, we did.
But they have, you can go other weekends throughout the
They've
year.
got father-son
Okay.
camp. They got mother-daughter. They've got son or father-daughter. They got all that stuff. But it's when I say it's our people, it's more of what I think the church should look like.
A lot of steadfast men up there.
A lot of steadfast men. Yeah.
Men just trying their best to stick to that word and stick to what the Lord has done in their life and
Yeah.
and raise their family, right?
There's only one way to do it, really. Like one worthy way of doing it, and it's to follow the steadfast man, the second Adam, and it's what I'm trying to do. It's what you're trying to do. Let's do it together.
Yep.
Let's sharpen one another as iron sharpens iron, and it's going to hurt sometimes, but that's what men do. They do hard stuff.
That's right. That's right. Well, because of battery life and cameras, hopefully one day I have a better setup. But Dave Brawley, thank you so much for being on the show.
Matt, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, this is really enjoyable. If you guys want to check out the things that Dave suggested, maybe I can get the links to like Miracle
Mountain Ranch.
Yeah.
And I'll send the publisher for.
Okay.
And again, you can do that on your own, but
Yeah.
this makes it really, really nice.
Okay.
It's a beautiful array when you're done to pass on to the next generation.
Okay.
The Bible written in your hand.
Right. Yeah, that's so cool. I never heard of it. So I'll put that in the show notes. And thank you again for watching. Enjoy the show.